Hello, everybody. I'm Father Bart LIPIEC, and I'm the pastor here at St. Martha's. And today, not only I, but the two co-chairs of our parish's renewal, part of the road to renewal for the diocese, are going to present to you what has been done to this point. I want to begin, first of all, by giving you a bigger picture as to why this road to renewal process is taking place. We know that we've had a very critical shortage of priests now for almost 40 years. And the numbers are telling us that down the road, that number is going to become fewer and fewer. Our priesthood is getting older and retiring, and the number of younger men coming into the priesthood is not matching the losses we have to retirement. So we know that there are just not simply enough priests to serve the needs of our Catholic people. When Bishop KUCEWICZ was here, he saw that very clearly, and he instituted a program called the Journey in Faith and Grace. And many of you, both who were from our predecessor parishes of OLBS and St. Barnabas, will remember the Journey in Faith and Grace. We had representatives of both parishes work together as a transition team. We tried to meet with the parishioners as often as we could, discuss the critical elements of what a merger would look like. And after 2 years of discussion, we came to the conclusion that we would have our parish here at the site of OLBS, and we would retitle it St. Martha. Now, initially, that plan was supposed to be continuing into the future, but for many reasons, and particularly the retirement of Bishop KUCEWICZ, it didn't continue on in that way. Now, in the last few years, it's no big secret that the church has suffered, and particularly the diocese. The scandal of priests and some of the crimes that they committed, the idea that our diocese is now in the throes of bankruptcy. The pandemic also had hit us, so that many parishes are not as viable as they once were. Now, Bishop Scharfenberger, who was the interim administrator of the diocese, clearly saw that something was going to have to change, and change fairly quick. So he did institute the road to renewal. So this was all begun prior to Bishop Fisher's arrival. When Bishop Fisher was approached to become our bishop, one of the things he was asked by the Apostolic Nuncio was, would he continue the road to renewal? And of course he said yes. So now that he became the bishop, we find ourselves now moving in a much more concrete direction with the road to renewal. We know that within the next 5 years, certainly the number of priests will be off dramatically. And so we know that something has to be done. So at this point, our parish has participated in the road to renewal. Charlene MAHONY and Bob KUCEWICZ. Bob has been our point man in attending the meetings and in getting the process going here in the parish. So at this point, I'll be turning it over to Charlene MAHONY, and she'll present her portion of this presentation.
So as Father Bart had introduced me, my name is Charlene MAHONY, and I'm one of the trustees of the parish as well as one of the representatives on this process of road to renewal. I think it's important to talk about what Father Bart had mentioned about the journey in faith and grace. We began that back in about 2009, and over a 2-year period, we had several different meetings with the parishioners of both Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament, as well as St. Barnabas parishes, as well as the other parishes that were in our vicariate. And the end result of that was that we would merge along with St. Barnabas and become St. Martha Parish. Now, in order to get to that point, which is similar to what we're going to be doing in the road to renewal, it's very important to, one, get the information out to all the parishioners, to our school families, to our staff, because they're all involved in our parish community. So a number of things that we did in the past with the Journey of Faith and Grace is we had a couple of listening sessions so that we could hear the concerns, learn about the strengths, the fears of parishioners of both of our parishes that we're going to merge. We look forward to hoping that that's going to be a part of this process as well, because it's important that we communicate at every level to everyone that's going to be involved and that's going to be coming together in our new family of parishes. Here at St. Martha Parish, we've also done a number of things already. During the summertime, we had a meeting with all the parish ministry leaders, and Bob and I went through the process along with Father Bart of the history of the Road to Renewal, what to expect, things that we knew, and some things that we were going to be learning about. This is similar to what we had done in the past as well. We've brought the school in, and Mrs. Kindred, along with her staff and the school parents, are fully aware of what's going to be, that there's going to be a change to come. Maybe we don't know exactly what form it's going to take in the Road to Renewal, but we are anticipating a number of changes there as well. We've met with Parish Council. They have been completely informed about this since the beginning of when the Road to Renewal was initially announced. And as you're all aware, Father Bart has kept all of us informed by talking about it within the bulletin, by talking to parishioners on an individual level and answering questions as they've come about, as well as speaking to it from the pulpit. So I know many people are probably really concerned about how successful this is going to be, because there's always the fear of the unknown of what's to come. And change, as we know from the journey of faith and grace, is very difficult to come by and very difficult to accept. But we have to realize that there will be change in our future. It is going to happen. I think that many of us will feel that we're much more closely bonded. Our faith is stronger. And then hopefully we'll be able to bring people back to church, evangelize to those who have left, especially during the pandemic, that are fearful to come back to Mass, come back to church, but that we're going to learn to get to know a lot of different people. And again, our entire new parish community will be stronger for it.
Hi, as Father mentioned, my name is Bob KUCEWICZ. I think I probably know most of you who will be looking at this. I was an original member of the Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish, and for the most part have been here for most of my life. I was not part of the journey in faith and grace, as Charlene spoke about, so I can't tell you the same things that she did. I just remember it very much so as a process that involved merger. One of the things that our Road to Renewal is going to be doing things differently. We're going to be listening to the people, I think, more than we have ever before. But number two, it's not about merger. We're talking about creating a family of parishes, something new, something different. You ask, what is a family of parishes? Well, first of all, let me tell you the parishes that are involved in our family. There's obviously ourselves. There's Our Lady of Pompeii, St. Mary's in Lancaster, Blessed Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Sacred Heart in Bowmansville, and St. Philip's in Cheektowaga. 6 parishes together are going to create this family. And what is the family going to do? We're going to work together. You probably know that we already do many things together. We work with Our Lady of Pompeii and some of the other parishes on some of the programs we have, our Lenten program and other things. This is going to give us an opportunity to do that together. You ask, why are we going through all this? Well, I think Father made it crystal clear. The fact is there are 162 parishes in our diocese, and by the year 2030, it's estimated we will only have about 100 priests to tend to those parishes. So obviously there's not enough priests for all the parishes. So how do you compensate for that? Well, obviously we're going to be having to share parishes. Now, some of the priests are already overworked, so it's difficult to say, guess what, Father, you're going to handle 2 parishes now. So they came up with the family of parishes concept. It's currently being done something similar in the Diocese of Detroit. And so there are some predecessors to us, although they haven't gone very far in this. But I foresee this as something that's going to be very good and is going to make things easier for us. And particularly easier for the priests. Keep in mind, the median age for the priests in our diocese is 72 years. Many of them are getting older, and it would be difficult for them to tend to all of the needs of more than one parish. So it's going to give us the opportunity as a family to work together, to share resources, and to help, as Charlene said, in the evangelization, bringing people back to our church, getting young people back to our church. I told Father many times I'm concerned as I sit in church and see so many older people and very few young families. I think with this process, with the family, we will be able to work together to evangelize, to get young families involved. And I think when all is said and done, it'll make us all stronger in our faith.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Charlene and Bob because there's a lot of work that's going to be involved in this process. But I also want to encourage you to look in on our YouTube channel. A lot of the material that we're going to be having in the upcoming weeks and months is way too much for me to be going up on a pulpit every weekend in Mass. So if you really want to be well informed, I encourage you please to check out our YouTube channel. Now, if you have any questions, Jessica Spielman is our Director of Communications, and she would be more than happy to answer any questions you have about how to access our particular channel. So thank you very much. God bless, and let us keep each other in prayer.